In the far north of Quebec, they have a name for one of the greatest phenomena in nature, La Foule, the great migration of the caribou.
The whole hillside was full of caribou. Unbelievable.
We got a batch coming this way, we got a batch in back there.
For Bob Foulkrod, his ties to the Leaf River are long.
Looks good. At least it's the biggest one we've seen.
And now, he's back to renew the past true spirit of the hunt.
That one right there.
The one in the front. There we go. Good deal. Caribou, man, I'll tell you what, never get tired of it.
Oh, they're coming this way. They're coming this way.
That was it. 30-30 time. I got the old 30-30 up and I'm following him. He's in my distance now. Snap. Welcome to Winchester Legends.
From the spirit of adventure and the heartbeat of the hunt. It's what you trust, it's what you keep, it's Winchester. We're what you trust, we're what you keep. We're Winchester.
Winchester Legends is brought to you by Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work. By Hunter Specialties, for sportsmen by sportsmen. By Ram. There are a lot of places to go in this big wide world, and the new Ram Outdoorsman can get you to every one of them. And by Swarovski Optic.
Spotted a bull right there while we were fishing, but it's a small bull. But it's always nice to see the first caribou of the year. For the chick magnets, I'm a caribou magnet.
For Bob Foulkrod, in a hunting career spanning half a century, caribou, and especially the remote tundra of northern Quebec, have held a special meaning for him. Caribou in Canada were one of his first of many international destinations and quarries, and this Leaf River country is one of the first places he came.
We found caribou laying down. That big white one right there. We might be able to shoot him from right here. They coming this way?
They're going to go on the other side of that lake.
Yeah.
On the back side of it.
Yeah.
Follow that draw and go up over the sand and cross down low.
Okay. This is a gorgeous animal too. They're still in velvet. There ain't too many animals prettier than a caribou in velvet up here in this north country.
This is some of the most remote country in northern Quebec, well above tree line. This open tundra is the home of the famed Leaf River caribou herd and Leaf River Lodge.
It's a very strange feeling that you get around here. A lot of times you step on places where there's never been a human being, and I think it gets through you, you know, over the year. You walk up the hills and you wonder, well, there's never been a human being around here, and that's the feeling I like.
You leave the hustle bustle of Montreal, you get on an airplane first thing in the morning and you fly up and you can see the anticipation and just the people that's never been here and the people that have been here, they're just super, super excited.
Hey, how are you, Bob? Good to see you, my friend.
Good seeing you.
I like to have Bob around. Bob is a good friend, is a good, very good individual. Please, very fun to hunt with, fun to have at the camp. It's a big, big, big plus for me.
At Leaf River Lodge, Bob renews old friendships with hunters and guides, and he outlines his plan to hunt with another old friend, his Winchester Model 94 30-30.
We decided we was going to take the 30-30 up here on a caribou hunt this year, and so we practiced pretty hard, and we got pretty confident. I figured anything within 75 yards should be mine. So we loaded it up, knowing what it can be. Right at the last minute, I put the Model 70 in, and the same Model 70 I used last year on a sheep hunt.
That is a bad angle. Wait. Here we go. There's a nice sheep right there. Beauteous. We got some caribou. We're trying to get up on top of them now. We're hustling right along. We've seen them from the river and they're going with their nose in the wind.
Guarding here on the Leaf River, it's a big territory to cover. When you spot an animal, sometimes you gotta go a long ways to get a shot at it.
Across Alaska and Canada roam 6 different subspecies of caribou: barren ground, mountain, central Canada barren ground, island, woodland, and Quebec Labrador. Bob knows them all, especially the Quebec Labrador of the Leaf River herd. But these caribou are becoming increasingly wary with time.
The animals didn't know anything about hunters, so for them, you know, we were just something standing on the tundra. But now, you know, they have learned. They learn, they know where the camps are, and they try to avoid that. They try to go around, and they know what the hunter is now.
We jumped out of the boat first time we ran. I had the 30-30 in my hand, backing Bob up just in case he can get close enough. The opportunity wasn't there at that time. We got aboard the boat, we dropped down, lowered downriver further, try to cut the animals off.
I think we're gonna get in front of them. No, they beat us. They're going away from us. They're feeding a little bit. That gives us an opportunity. This little rise right here, this will do us right here.
The animals were still going away from us, so we had no choice. I had to put the 30-30 down. Bob had to pick up the big boy.
We just found our caribou right here. Yeah, we got one in the way. Wait.
Winchester Legends is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. By Ram. There are a lot of places to go in this big wide world, and the new Ram Outdoorsman can get you to every one of them. By Redhead, finest in the field since 1856. And by Swarovski Optic. In 50 years of hunting, Bob Foulkrod circled the globe in search of big game. But in all that time, and through all those places, one animal and one very special land have always had a unique hold on him.
A lot of memories right here, I'll tell you. Got some of my dad's ashes here. Got some of them down on the S-turn down there. I'd always stop and fish. Drop some ashes down. My wife killed her first caribou down there.
It was Foulkrod who inaugurated one of the first caribou camps on the Leaf River, where he'd guide for up to 6 weeks at a time.
The first camp I had on the Leaf River, Bob was running the camp, and we were taking like 4 guests a week, and now we're taking 18.
This really brings back home right here. Now one of them, they turn around and build a camp on the hill. Named it Bob's Camp. That's pretty neat. Right here's where I had my tent. Had this all cleaned out nice and right here. Right here's the rope from my tent yet right here. Had it tied down, had snaps into it. Did a lot of cooking right here. Out of the wind. And I get streets named after people, but not very many people got a camp named after them. And it just brings back a lot of memories. When I left here, I never thought I'd probably get a chance to see it again. I remember just sitting here and just breaking down, and I loved it so much, but it was time for me to move on. So I guess my caribou hunt started 30-some years ago.
We're gonna go to this rock right here, I think.
Well, we got up in that river further than I'd ever been before, where we spotted caribou. And it was gonna be a hard one, so we left the old 30-30 behind and we picked up the Model 70 and we ventured after that caribou.
We got him now. Let's see which one he is.
The one in the front? Oh, look at the back one.
Yeah,
The back one.
yeah. Walking, get his head down there.
Walking with his head down.
Yep.
Yeah, we got one in the way. Wait. The wind blowing pretty good. You got to turn a little bit. Let him stop. All right, here we go. He's going down. I'm going to give him one more.
Really? Okay, there you go.
You going down, you go down. Good deal. Got herself a nice caribou. Never get tired of that. You down, big guy? All right, look at that. Look how heavy that is. I've shot many, many, many caribou, and you just never get tired of looking at them. Had to switch gears. I knew hunting was going to be pretty hard, and you never know. So we laid the old 30-30 down and picked up that Model 70 at 300 WSM. It laid one on him. And there is one fantastic Quebec Labrador caribou. God's country, right here. The far north, where the Leaf River Outfitters. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. You know what? We're gonna catch a speckled trout or two and maybe find another caribou, but for right now, one caribou's enough for this day. And if everything continues to go right and the caribou continue to move, we're gonna make memories with that 30-30 yet before this trip's over with.
Last time I was up, I took the rack home and I made fishing lure out of caribou horn. We got a lot of things made out of caribou horn. So we'll see whether we put it to use or not.
That one don't count. There we got one. Homemade fishing lure. Right there, out of caribou horn. Nice little speckled trout. We may have to mass produce them. There's another one. Gotta get enough here for a shore lunch. We took care of the caribou and went on up and did some fishing. It was just like the old days, man. It was almost every cast. Great big brookies, and we kept just enough for a shore lunch. Let me tell you how fresh this is. This was swimming around 15 minutes ago. Kind of gives a new meaning to the word fresh. So we decided to go back down a little bit further. So we decided to sit down and take a little breather, and we turned back around, threw the glasses up, and the whole hillside, I mean the whole hillside was full of caribou. We have found them.
You could be 80, you could be 18. When you see that there, you'll never forget it, and you'll never get tired of seeing it.
Unbelievable.
We got a batch coming this way. We got a batch in back of us. Perry's over there watching a bunch of us in back of us. Oh, they're coming this way. They're coming this way.
That was it, 30-30 time.
I got the old 30-30 up and I'm following him. He's in my distance now. Snap.
Winchester Legends is brought to you by Winchester Repeating Arms, the guns that work. By Hunter Specialties, for sportsmen by sportsmen. By Redhead, finest in the field since 1856. And by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. Bob Foulkrod has a rendezvous with caribou on the Leaf River in northern Quebec and a chance to relive hunting and fishing memories that stretch back through a lifetime. With one trophy Quebec Labrador caribou down, Bob has a chance to fill his second tag with his old favorite lever action Winchester 30-30.
The wind right now is perfect. It's coming right in our face. We're up here trying to take one with 30-30.
To make an old dream come true, Bob put in hours of practice with iron sights at his home in Pennsylvania.
Sight this in at 6 o'clock. That means that bullseye sits right on top. I don't have the eyesight I used to have. So by looking down, I can see the whole sight picture. It should take it through his lungs. So let's see where this first shot goes. goal is to try to stay in that 8-inch circle. If I can stay inside that, I've got me a caribou. A lot of times, you're gonna see caribou, they're gonna be quartered at you. This particular shot right here, if I was bow hunting, I'd say that's a no shot. That's too iffy. Shooting a rifle with the ammo that I'm shooting today, there's nothing on that caribou that's gonna stop this bullet. I'm gonna go through that front shoulder, and if my sight alignment is right, I'm gonna go through that back target on the back side, means I went through his lungs, and again, I've got me a dead caribou. Let's try it. Get the grill out. Dead caribou. Blows his lungs right through him. 2 good shots right there. So I put a piece of tape on that, let it clean it, put it back in the gun cabinet. Bench time's super important, but get off the bench. How you expect the hunt to happen, that's what's important.
This episode of Training Camp was brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend.
We're staying right up here on these high ridges to stay away from these black flies. We gotta be 2-3 miles off the river. That's what these caribou are doing. They're going just every which. We got a batch coming this way. We got a batch in back of us. Perry's over there watching a bunch of us in back of us.
The animals was coming from left to right, bunches there, bunches there. Every time you look, you seen a better caribou. I mean, we were going around like a bunch of chickens with their head chopped off. And we decided, time to make a game plan. We're gonna sit down, one plot spot. There's enough animals moving through. We're bound to get a shot with a turdy.
We got some nice bulls, a big bull way in the back, naturally. Oh, they're coming this way. They're coming this way.
And all of a sudden, here comes some more caribou. And they're going right by, I range the rock, it's 120 yards. Oh, it's a little bit out of my distance, but they were cutting toward us a little bit. And I come over at the first cow and a range find, I go 75 yards. Yes, it's within our distance.
That was it, turdy time.
Winchester's Power Max Bonded is Bob's natural choice of ammunition for caribou. The protected hollow point and the bonded lead core inside the contour jacket gives it massive expansion, combined with intact penetration for real knockdown power.
Look at that beauty.
Oh yeah.
That's the one you want. Okay, yep, that back one.
And I got the old 30-30 up and I'm following him. He's in my distance now.
Okay, here we go. 30-30. He wants to stay up, but I'm going to give you one more.
I always say, as long as that animal's on his feet, do everything in your power to get another one and put him down. That's called respect for the animal.
Here we go.
No, there's one right behind. One right behind.
One right.
Yeah, right behind.
Okay.
I was getting ready to hit him one more time, and cows and some other animals got in back of him. He was twisting around. There we go. 30-30. That's what we came up here for, right there. That's what we came up here. Oh man, I feel like the old West. We practiced in Pennsylvania with it. There's probably been more animals shot with that 94 30-30 than any weapon in the world, and we brought it up here just to build some more memories. Look at that there. I love it when a game plan comes together. What absolutely a fantastic trip. I know you got a lot of choices, and there's a lot of caribou camps out there, but I haven't found a better one, I can tell you that.
For Bob Foulkrod, memories on this trip were built on big caribou, brook trout, and friendship. And the best person to capture that feeling is Bob's friend, singer Jim Bowman.
Tonight my heart is far away and my mind is gone there too. To the great far land north of Quebec, to run with caribou. It might seem hard to understand, it might even seem absurd. Runs free with that old leaf river.
Whether you're a hunter, shooter, or both, Winchester has you covered online. Visit Winchester.com to learn about innovative new products, promotions, and what ammo to choose for your next adventure. Launch the award-winning ballistics calculator. Customize your shooting conditions and choose and compare your favorite ammo from 5 categories. Download the app for your iPhone and carry the ballistics calculator with you in the field or on the range. Be a part of the Winchester Hunting and Shooting Nation. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. From expert hunting and shooting tips to exclusive video footage and news, Winchester is your online resource for all things hunting and shooting. Winchester.com. Experience the American legend.
Thundering across